Today on Culture Express, Louie visits Dr. Joseph Palico, an Indian Christian pastor at St. Stan's Catholic Church in Masbeth, Queens. Louie also meets with Bulgarian singer-dancer Daria Vasileva and discusses how her classical music and opera training led to a career in Latin music and dancing. Louie learns about the ancient language and liturgies sang in Aramaic, the language that was once spoken by Jesus Christ and his apostles.
Hi, Louie Gasparro here, Queens Public Television. We are in St. Stan's in Masbeth with Reverend Joseph Palico. Reverend, how are you? It's
nice
great to be here.
Very good to be here with you.
Tell us a little bit about your travels. You're a musicologist. You just came back. You have all of this footage on Aramaic chants.
Yes.
Please fill us all in.
Yes. I belong to an ancient Christian community in India that is referred to as St. Thomas Christians. Our forefathers believe that St. Thomas the Apostle came to the southern part of India, which is now called Kerala, and preached the gospel. And our forefathers received the faith from the very source, from the apostle. And so probably he spoke in Aramaic, that was his mother tongue at that time. And he established small Christian communities there. Later, in the 4th century, there was an immigration of Christians from Persia, present-day Iran, Iraq area. It seems they were persecuted there and they came to Kerala on the southwest coast of India. And they brought Syriac, which is same as Aramaic, which is like a dialect of Aramaic, and the liturgy in the Syriac language. So from then onwards, at least, we had a strong Aramaic Syriac Christian liturgy in that part of the world. And so when I was a young boy, I served Mass in Syriac.
Wow.
Yes. We would write the text in Malayalam script, the local script.
Right.
But the text is Syriac. Avun Dvashmaya, Naskandashmag, Tese Malkusag. That is the Aramaic, our Father. Probably the exact words that Jesus spoke to his disciples.
I was reading that the people that you went and met in India were very surprised that they were remembered. They were afraid that they were forgotten. How was that experience for you?
That was the best experience that I had. I'm glad you asked that question. Some of the senior priests who breathed this language, who sang in this language, in 1962, this is before the Vatican II, liturgy was translated into the vernacular. Until then, the liturgy was in Aramaic, in Syriac. In 1962, they decided, because Syriac literacy was going down, people did not know the language that much, and so they decided to change the text translate the text into the vernacular. So those who were born before that, those who were adults in 1962, slowly found that their knowledge of the language and the liturgical traditions and the melodies were not useful, because nobody asked them. So they were surprised that someone who is born and brought up in Kerala but went to America now is coming back in search of this golden treasure that I would consider, and they consider those melodies and memories as golden treasures, and it would have died with them if someone didn't ask.
The Hindu and Christian communities cooperated with each other in many aspects of day-to-day life. Even the architecture of many of the churches resembled that of the Hindu temples. In the traditional caste hierarchy, the Christians enjoyed upper status. They were accorded 72 privileges similar to those of the aristocratic classes.
Is there any, are there any instruments within the music, or it's all vocal?
Yes, interesting question. So far as we know, until the 16th century, we didn't use musical instruments. Or if we used, we are not sure. It must have been, as we call, unaccompanied a cappella style of singing.
All vocal.
Or vocal.
പുലരിയിൽ നിദ്രയുണർന്നങ്ങി പാവന സന്നിധിയണയുന്നു കർത്താവേ നിൻ കരുണയ്ക്കായി നന്ദി പറഞ്ഞു നമിക്കുന്നു.
In music iconography, on the churches built early, we see a few musical instruments that are not Western. That has to be studied. Some of your listeners, some of your viewers of this program should check that out and go and look at the shape and size of these musical instruments and study them, because they may be precursors of some of the musical instruments in West Asia, in the Middle East. Coming back to your question, in the when the Portuguese missionaries came, Vasco da Gama came to Kerala. He came 3 times. He died in Kerala. He was buried in Kerala. Later, his remains were transferred to Portugal.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, he died on his 3rd trip. He died in Kerala and was buried there. So, and later Portuguese missionaries came. They brought like violin, drum, triangle. So in some of the recordings, some of the songs that were recorded and are on YouTube under the Aramaic project uses those, and harmonium.
Yes.
You have an idea what is harmonium? Is hand-pumped.
There's also one that has a crank on it.
Yes, yes.
That it's a very, it's a drone kind of a
No,
sound.
you can play the notes.
Oh,
It is a
really?
keyboard.
Oh wow, the
Yes.
harmonium I know about has a crank on it.
Yes.
It plays like notes, but it's only like a drone of the notes. It's
No,
not like you could play
no, you can play the whole scale.
പാവനം ഭാവനം ജീവസാധനം പാവനം ഭാവനം ജീവസാധനം പാവനം ഭാവനം ജീവസാധനം പാവനം ഭാവനം ജീവസാധനം സർവശോഭനം 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 പാവനം ഭാവനം ജീവസാധനം.
How many people in the world would you say speak Aramaic?
That is a tough question.
Is it in the millions or?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. There are 2 aspects to it. The question that you asked is how many people speak the language? That is one question. How many people use the language is a different question.
Right.
So your question, how many people speak the language? There is a place in Syria called Malula. That place was in the news a few months ago because that place was bombed.
Right.
The communities there, they were like geographically secluded. They used to keep, they say, scholars say, they speak Aramaic language without being influenced by the Arabic.
Right.
Because in the Middle East after 7th century, you know, this language got
Right.
superseded.
Dissipated and whatnot.
Yeah. So very few people probably speak this language in the world.
Right. The way we're speaking English right
Exactly.
now. How many people know how to speak it?
That too, very limited.
Really?
But how many people use the language is a different question.
How many people use it?
I cannot give a number, but in India, there are still people who use this language in the liturgy. Later, I'm going to sing for you in this.
That would be great.
So, my knowledge of the language is through the chants. And my doctoral dissertation was about these chants. That's why I'm passionate about it. And that's how I came to this Aramaic project, because if we don't do anything right now,
It gets lost.
right now, it will be lost. Right in front of our eyes, it is being lost from several communities. And my community, called the Syro-Malabar Church, is one such community where the language is dying out.
Right.
So many melodies.
മയിൽ മേൽ തോന്നും മേനിയും തെയ്തേ പിടിത്തതണ്ടും കൈയും മെയ്യും എന്നേക്കും വാഴ്കവേ തെയ്തേ വാഴ്ക വാഴ്ക നമ്മുടെ പരീക്ഷയെല്ലാം ഭൂമിമേൽ തെയ്തേ വഴിക്കുറായി നടക്ക വേണ്ടി വന്നവരോ നാമെല്ലാം.
So if we don't do this now, it will be lost. It is like, what shall I compare it to? It is like a species of bird or a species of animal or a species of plant is just dying, getting extinct in your
People know
sight.
about it and they let it.
Let it go.
Right. It's like you're an archaeologist and you are digging up this ancient
Yes.
knowledge and ancient music and beauty, which, because I think music is beautiful.
Yes, oh yes.
And you're saying, hey, look, you know, we have this here, and you have the support of your church, which is tremendous.
Yes. I'm going to sing a melody. The roots, I don't know.
ahead.
Well, it could be in the Middle East or it could be in India. Barmariyam, Barmariyam, Baralaha, the eldest Mariam. I have no idea where this melody.
This is what I mean. That was beautiful. And you're actually saying words.
Yes.
In Aramaic.
I will tell you.
What are the
words? Bar Mariam. Bar is son. Mariam is Mary. You will hear that name among the Arabs and the Jewish people still Mariam or Miriam. It is the same. Mariam, Mary. Bar Mariam, son of Mary, son of Mary. Bar Alaha. Alaha is God. This Alaha became Allah. It is the same God.
It's a derivative of that.
Yes, exactly. Slight change in the pronunciation. Bar Alaha, son of God. Bar Mariam, Bar Alaha, the eldest Mariam. The son of God was born from Mariam. Mary gave birth to the son of God.
That was that whole chant?
Yes. It may have gone through modifications, if it came from the Middle East, it may have gone through modifications in India. The vocal inflection with which I sang is Indian.
Right.
But the melody could be
Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern.
Yeah, you know, it sounds minor.
Yes.
It's minor scales.
Yeah.
And you have such a great acoustic here, where
yes.
it really resounds,
Resonates,
it
yes.
resonates, and you hear the full warmth.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's tremendous. I think
Yeah.
it's great. I've never met anyone that when Lucia brought this to my attention, I was like, really? That's really cool. I like
Yes.
that. I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of people that are going to be interested in it because it's just beautiful. The sound of it is beautiful. What you're saying
Yes.
is beautiful.
Yes.
You got a lot of support behind you. I wish you the best of luck. That was Father Joseph Palico. We'll be right back. Culture Express.
മാർത്തോമൻ നന്മയാലൊന്നു തുടങ്ങുന്നു, നന്നായി വരണമേ ഇന്ന്.